Today's game review is one of a few games that are not actually original to the Atari 2600 system, meaning they did not come out during the 2600's lifetime. Instead, these were made after the Atari had its full run and are usually called homebrewed games. Today's is a very special one because it is brand new, just came out. It is called Star Castle, and it was actually part of a Kickstarter program that I was very happy to participate in that allowed you to give some money and get a copy of the game once it was done. Well worth it, as you'll see. So a little background, this game was attempted many years ago by Howard Scott Warshaw, the guy who would eventually go on to make Yar's Revenge. He didn't think it was possible to do the game justice. Star Castle's an arcade classic. Vector graphics, beautiful thing. I pumped many quarters into it. Years later, a former employee at Atari and game developer decided that this would be one of their holy grails. His name was D. Scott Williamson. He figured out how to do this and decided to do a big release. And here we have Star Castle. So the game plays a whole lot like the arcade version. It even has a nice little screen at the beginning where you could see D. Scott Williamson's name right up there, and it'll jump between your last score and that. You fire it up and it looks a lot like the arcade version with Atari graphics. And the thing about the arcade game is it's a little difficult, as is this one. Maybe this is even more difficult than the arcade version, and it has taken me a while to adjust to playing it. You just can't pull down on the joystick and start shooting like I'd want to. Instead, you got to be a little patient and move around and get into a groove. I often find that you'll bounce on and off the shields of the Star Castle, and you'll get a rhythm down and you'll be able to blast through. Unfortunately, I die a lot getting that rhythm down. You control your ship and fly toward the energy cannon on the Star Castle, trying to blast through the shields. If you blast through all the segments of the shields will grow outward and a new ring will form, so you don't want to take them all out. Instead, you want to try to make a hole through to the middle where you can blast that energy cannon and take down the whole Star Castle. Now, that might not be too hard, except that as you get closer to the center, the energy cannon will start firing at you, and it's a very Yar's Revenge sort of moment as it blasts out at you. And the whole time, there are space mines chasing you. So this game gets frantic, and I actually found my heart racing as I was playing it. Scoring is pretty simple. You get nothing for destroying the mines. They'll constantly regenerate and come after you. But for the Rings of the Shield, you get points. And if you destroy the Star Castle, you get 1,440 points and a free guy, which will really help because if you don't get the rhythm down, you will die a lot in this game. I got the game yesterday and probably spent a solid hour as soon as I fired it up playing it. I was frustrated at first, but once I took a step back, started really trying to figure out how to play, the game opened up to me, and I could see that it is a very fun port of the arcade original. This is a very well-made game. That is why I give it 4 out of 5 stars. Now, I'm not sure exactly how people can pick this up yet. I imagine it will be for sale after the whole Kickstarter program is done, and I will add a link to the Kickstarter page underneath the video so you can drop by, check it out, get information. This is a great game, and I just want to thank D. Scott Williamson for putting this together and giving me a little bit of an Atari experience decades after I originally got my system. Thanks for listening to this retro review. For more retro fun, you can drop by the website at retroist.com.
This has been a Retroist production. Goodbye.